What is a MOOC? The acronym stands for Massive Open Online Course. Massive, to reach the masses, making education available to everyone with an internet connection, not only those who can afford to attend university. Open, free participation, in some cases accreditation is offered for a fee. Online, with pre-recorded lectures, user forums for group work, and often automated grading. Course, while every MOOC is a learning opportunity, the certificate, badge, or credits offered are dependent on the company offering the content and the choices of the students.
I think what appeals to me most about the MOOC movement is that it broadens the scope of students who can learn. So by making educational opportunities available to anyone who has an internet connection, I think is a very appealing dimension of it, sort of a democratization of education on a mass scale. Yes, I think that some of these MOOC courses are created by some of the world's leading experts, the people who are writing textbooks about some of these topics. And so they are amazing sources of information and knowledge about these things. So for universities that don't have faculty who can teach certain courses, this would allow them to give access to the whole dimensions of information that students wouldn't otherwise have be able to get to. I think that the fundamental limits have to do with the physicality. There are certain things that are either only possible in physical spaces, and there are other things that work better in physical spaces. So for example, laboratory sciences, I don't know how they will do chemistry labs. I don't know how they would do dissection if it was a biology class. There are electrical engineering courses, for example, that require a hands-on manipulation of physical objects. So those kinds of things I think would be very difficult to capture in a MOOC. And yet, you know, there are technologies like robotic surgery that might allow for some of that kind of interaction to take place, although at great cost, considerable, I would think. There's another whole dimension about the kind of discussion one has face-to-face in a classroom setting, or at least in some classroom settings. And the online discussion boards do not replicate that. And so something may be lost in the simply, you know from your own experience probably taking courses here, that discussions that take place online are qualitatively different in some cases than the kinds of discussions that can take place in the context of a classroom setting. That doesn't mean they're worse, and sometimes things work out better in online because people who wouldn't speak up in a classroom will speak up online, and then if people aren't paying attention or present at the time, they can capture some of that. But I think the biggest issues would be the kinds of things that can really only be done effectively in a physical space. Right now, in the CSS program, we have a special section of CSS 198, which is intended for skills building. And this one section is a 2-credit course where students can sign up and take a MOOC, primarily in areas that aren't being offered here right now. And then they will post weekly updates and then post a summary at the end, and then show the instructor the badges or the results of quizzes or exercises or projects, and then if they meet the criteria for the course, then they can get credit for that course. So that's the only way right now that we're doing it. I actually had a student who took a special section of 498, which is our senior level independent study project, on a course offered by, I can't remember if it was Udacity or Coursera now, on analysis of algorithms, or maybe it was advanced analysis of algorithms, because he really wanted to learn that topic and we didn't have a course and he was going to be graduating. So he took that course and he showed me all the work and he wrote up a very thorough summary and he got credit for that. So there are, so far, just special cases. There are new developments every week about universities forging relationships with MOOC companies, and so I would not be surprised. There's at least 2 professors at UW Seattle who are offering MOOCs through Coursera. So I would not be surprised to see more opportunities arising, and I think one of the challenges for any university is to figure out how can we integrate the benefits of MOOCs while still preserving the kinds of advantages and benefits that we offer in the more traditional face-to-face settings.
I decided to take an online class once instead of a regular one because I needed an extra English class to meet the entry requirements to the computer science program. And since it was cheaper and I was able to work out of my home, since it was online, it was convenient in two respects. Yes, in my case, when I took the English online class, I would have learned the same in that environment as I would if I would have attended a class physically in a classroom with a teacher and a group of students. It really depends on the subject. So in the case of English, it was very convenient. The learning experience would have been almost identical, whether I was present in class or whether I took it online. But for classes that are more geared for group work or face-to-face interaction, public speaking, those kind of classes are much more ideal for classroom environments instead of online. The online's great for any science-related work, writing, discussion forums. It's a great medium for that.